Good afternoon, everyone. All the eminent dignitaries, Shantanu and all the leading institutes, be it Chinmaya Mission, I can see Modern School Principal, Millennium School, and other dignitaries from leading hospitals and NGOs. Uh, so I am the one standing between you and lunch, huh? Okay. So, I'll just give a brief on what is the role of education. I mean, school education in terms of shaping the society, and how we can collectively ensure a happy society by various interventions in school education. So, before this stint as Secretary CBSE, I have also served as Director of Education Delhi, where we had introduced one curriculum where we brought very small changes. The first was to start the school with check in and check out, where kids used to do deep breathing and normal mindfulness activities, where they used to hear sounds that are there outside, sounds that are there in the class, then go deep inside. And when we did that for a period of 1 year, we found lot of changes in kids' attitude in their school and also in their family. In fact, when we used to have parent teachers meeting, we used to find that parents used to tell us a lot of positive stories. Like there were families, broken families, where kids used to come from slums and they were beaten up by their mom or dad, and they used to come in the first period and they were disturbed. But we found that by doing simple methods like check in and check outs, it used to have a lot of positive impact. We also tried to tie it up with various different organizations like Heartfulness Organization. They organized camps for, doing blindfold exercises, deep breathing exercises. We also started talking about various experiences that kids, face during their challenging times, how to deal with anxiety, how to deal with stress. And overall, what we found out was that these collective years, these initial years that are there in kids' life, they play a very, very important role. And it is very important that we bring some of those ancient Indian practices in school education, so that these kids, they imbibe them, in a way that in future, or when they become a youthful citizen of the country, or they go in job, or they work, or they create jobs, they have a resilient attitude towards life and a resilience mechanism to deal with such tough situations. And we seriously feel that spirituality plays a very, very important role, and it has to start not only with, like, if you really want to embrace spirituality in your school, it has to start with the school principal, school management, and teachers. Whenever I used to go to any school, I used to tell my teachers that there's a common philosophy that if you don't have anything in you, how can you give that thing to somebody else? If you are not yourself happy, how can you say that you should be happy? Isn't it? So you can give only that you have in yourself. So it is very important that your teachers and the principals should themselves practice spirituality. And why spirituality? See, there are a lot of theories on happiness. One is obviously the famous Harvard study of life lasting happiness. I don't know how many of you have heard about it. It talked about, I mean, it took 750 people from Boston area, where 250 were Harvard graduates, 500 were from Boston slums. John F. Kennedy was also a part of it. It's a longitudinal study still going on 75 years. And they took the parameters of all the, not only of the people who were part of it, but also of their family, of their children, everything. And then they came out with this conclusion that the most important thing in humans' personal happiness is the kind of relationships he or she has nurtured in life. I mean, how many, and the easy way to test is how many are your 3 a.m. friends. If you have, abundant number of 3 a.m. people where you can call at 3 a.m. and you are sure that they will pick up your phone and they will talk to you, I think that kind of, the more people you have, the quality of people you have of this 3M type, the more happier you will be. Similarly, there is a very famous theory, SDT theory, self determination theory, which talks about three different things in a human life. The first is autonomy. What is autonomy? That wherever you are working in any organization, you are aligned with the goals of it. It's like that if I am feeling that I should not be shouting in classroom, but if my you know if the principles of my organization is that you have to keep your students disciplined, be it by beating them out or shouting at them, then you will be always in conflict. Similarly, the second important thing that it talks about is competency, that wherever you are trying to, you are creating a meaning out of your work and you are improving on your skills and people are also finding value of it. And the third is relatedness. So all these things, if you, combine all of them, you will find that it is essentially, a person going deep inside and also trying to create an environment where he or she is feeling that oneness with the other person also. In spirituality, what we actually say is that, Advait philosophy, that all of us are one. Like the source of light or the, you say it, higher power that is there in you also and me also. And we have to find that commonality. And once we start working on this, more and more we start feeling that, we start feeling content. We start an attitude of giving. We start, start working in an environment where we don't see, any issue as a problem, but more of something where we are able to find solutions to it. And we find then that people are coming together to work with us. Like when I was in Directorate of Education, when I used to talk about it, initially I used to find that a lot of teachers, they used to relate with this idea of practicing spirituality in their own lives, but there was always initial resistance. We also started, I don't know how many of you have heard about Jivan Vidya sessions where it talks about the inner journey of a person. We also tied up with Amma and we sent our teachers to Amritanandmayi Ashram. And through all of these visits, we found out that if we really want to completely change the education system, we have to work on our teachers and make them more, guided towards their inner selves. And once they start realizing this, then it starts, getting imbibed in the students also. So there are very small practices which I would like to say that have created huge impact. One is having the sessions of deep breathing in schools. It has a huge impact. You talk to any psychiatrist, psychologist, deep abdominal breathing, be it 4-7-8, like you take 4 seconds of deep breath inside, 7 seconds of pause, and 8 seconds of exhaling, or 4-4-4, or whatever. If you are practicing deep breathing, you can control a lot of your issues, be it anxiety, being fear, be it resentfulness, through this technique. And what we do, if you take it to our, if you try to equate it with what we were taught in our ancient Vedas or Puranas, this is primarily pranayama also. Like in yoga, we do pranayama. It has a huge impact. If somebody is doing it 15 minutes daily, it can completely change somebody's life. It increases your cognitive reserve also, and it cools down your parasympathetic nervous system, and you really, things become clear in your life. Similarly, if you are doing mindfulness meditation, as a teacher, I can't say that meditation should be done by students below age of 16 or 18. I don't have that much idea on that, but deep breathing I know. But meditation, if our teachers are doing 5 to 10 minutes of meditation, it has a huge positive impact on the teacher's psyche, and ultimately it reaches down to students. Then, talking about positive affirmations. I think this is a very important concept that we have to bring it in our school, maybe in our school assemblies, that if we give 5 positive affirmations, like, daily in school assemblies or in class, it creates creates a huge impact. Like the way placebo has impact, similarly nocebo also has that impact. So if you have positive affirmations in your schools, like, it and your students are practicing it, our uh, our brain circuit is such that those neurons start firing together, and they create a kind of a belief system in us that okay, this is possible. There is a very unique book. How I don't know how many of you have read it, that book, Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton, where he says that human beliefs have a huge, or the whatever you think, you can actually change your physical body by just your thoughts. So I think there is a huge research that is needed also in this aspect, where we just create positive environment in our schools by way of all these techniques. And I think our ancient spirituality systems are so powerful and so strong that we need to embrace them, and we need to bring them in our school system more so now, because we are now seeing that families are becoming nuclear, kids are getting digitally addicted, we are seeing more and more psychological psychiatric issues, and we must provide those coping mechanisms right in school itself. And it has to start with school leaders. School leaders have to practice it by themselves, I mean on themselves, and with their teachers, and then you should take it down to your school students. And I'm sure if schools start doing action research on it, they will be publishing a lot of good data which can be used for further research also. And I think it's a very important initiative that has been taken by Adi Vidya Foundation, and I wish all the very best for you. I won't be speaking much, otherwise your lunch will get delayed. And my best wishes to all of you. Thank you.